Welcome to the Spirit of America Hour. My name is Randy Baar. We have a special on wrestling for you today. You know, I go way back, believe it or not, to my high school days in wrestling. And in River Falls, Wisconsin, we have 3 collegiate wrestlers that have done so wonderfully. We're going to follow wrestling from the youth at River Falls right up to the practice room, right to collegiate level, Big Ten tournament, the 2002 tournament. And, you know, we mixed it with interviews from the wrestlers and from coaches and parents. I think you're really going to enjoy it, and you'll see how the faith has played an important role in a lot of these wrestlers and coaches' lives and things. So we're going to get right to the program, and we hope you enjoy it. We'll be right back.
This vehicle can take you to places no other vehicle can. To strange worlds and even stranger life forms. It can take you inside a human heartbeat to the innermost mysteries of life itself. It can take you to the silicon landscapes of tomorrow's supercomputers. It can even take you to a world where information travels on highways of light. This incredible vehicle can take you as far as your ability and imagination will allow. But only if you don't bail out. So stay in school. This message was brought to you by the United States Air Force because we know how far a good education can take you.
Hi, I'm at the River Falls High School, and we're starting right here. There's a camp this week, you know, for youth. And in wrestling these days especially, it seems like if they get started early, it helps them. I got Coach Dave Bravo with me, and I got to go back to when I first came, I don't know, 92 or 3. And I'd been at school and late in life, so to speak, and started a new career and with the missions. And I thought it'd be fun to get, if I could do anything in wrestling, and I saw an ad in the paper. I really didn't think you guys would hire me. I was pretty surprised when Warner called me up, but boy, I had a great time.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. First couple of years here, then you were at the middle school, and part of a great program.
I loved it. I loved it, but my heart was with the junior high. For one thing, I didn't have all the expertise as you guys. I didn't really have a lot of time to go to camps and learn, but I love kids. I wanted to get down there and try to help them see the basics. So I appreciate you letting me go down there. I had a great time.
Well, that's at the middle school. That's what you need to have, is somebody that enjoys the sport, and so the kids have fun at the middle school. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, wrestling's unique that way in that you better be having fun when you're young because they don't understand all the things that are coming really. But we had a great time. But you know, I got the idea to come over here, and because you have Kevin Black, Tony Black, and Brady doing this camp, I was so happy to see that. They're all in collegiate wrestling. They're doing well, and I thought maybe you could tell us a little bit about why you think kids need to get started in this if they really want to get to the big time. I mean, Kevin's he's what, 4th in the nation this year, NCAA, and Brady took 2nd, NCAA 3. Is there a reason that you can see that even a good kid with all the talent should get started early?
I think they need to get a young start. I don't know if you need 100 matches a year, but you need a number of matches each year. Mainly just to start picking up the balance, the feel for the sport. You know, it's a whole different thing. It's not like shooting a basketball or something you just happen to do. You have to learn a lot of leverage situations, and you have to be comfortable going in there and you know, taking someone's arm back behind them a little bit. I mean, it's a tough sport. I'm not going to dwell on it because it's very controversial, but I was from the old camp right away as, let the kids be kids, but it's the way it is. I believe that it's good for them to get in there, start having fun, start rolling around and things. There's no doubt about it. But it bothered me when a kid would come in 7th grade and say, I can't go on because I'm way behind. You know, I say, oh, come on, you know. And we've got some of those kids that have done well, but I do believe we should get them in and get them going. But personally, maybe, especially with some kids, we don't want to push them to get all these matches. It seems to be a lot of pressure for them. Yeah, it gets to be a lot of pressure. I always tell our parents that their child or wrestler needs to be able to handle losing as well as winning. Until that point, if they just practice, if they're not real comfortable going out and competing in a match, if they'll at least go to the practices, learn situations, that will give them a good head start too.
That's a real good point, because kids are at different levels, and if they can't, I mean, you don't feel good in them, but I mean, if you're young and it takes you down too far, maybe it's time not to compete yet.
Right, or I know there's been a lot of kids we've lost to the sport and to all sports because of a lot of pressure that both the kid feels and the parent and their coaches apply when they're real young.
So Kevin and Tony and Brady, they pretty much came through the youth programs, didn't they?
They did. And they also came through a philosophy where if they wanted to go fishing on a day, they could go fishing. They did not have to go to every Saturday match. And they did, they wrestled a number of matches, but they weren't gone 150 matches a year. They, like I said before, they enjoyed it and they had fun with it. And if it was time to do something else on a real nice Saturday, we encourage kids to go do something else.
And family things, yeah.
Oh, they need to do family things, right.
And it's balance, isn't it? It's back to balance. And we have trouble with that these days, it seems, but I believe that too.
Everybody wants a pill today to lose weight, or they want a pill to get stronger, but it goes back to moderation and doing things where you should do them. Hard work and enjoy things. Don't overdo any one thing.
Well, and that's why I started. We got some clips, and then we're going to show a little bit about how to get started. We're going straight to Madison, I think, from here into the Big Ten, and we're going to have a special here on wrestling. So,
oh, that's great.
Thanks so much for talking.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks so much for giving me that opportunity.
Good luck to everyone.
Okay, just gonna flatten to the net. Alright? Little breakdown.
Well, our high school let out on June 11th. We were right back in the building on June 12th. We had a wrestling camp this past week with some former alumni. Kids came in, working hard in the mornings. 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th of June. It's kind of a springboard to next year. Not that what the kids are going to learn is going to necessarily stick, but that they get back into the habit of getting back to work and drilling and doing the things they need to do. We've went a couple of years without having a camp here. The big reason to bring it in now is with our new facility, kind of a new outlook on the whole season, on the whole year, a new crop of kids. But what was neat, we brought back an old crop of kids. We brought back some great alumni, and All-American Kevin Black, All-American Brady Cudd, and Big Ten place winner Tony Black, who was a high school All-American. And they're doing a great job with our clinic. They're in here working, teaching the kids some of our old technique and adding some of the new things that they had picked up themselves in college. But I think their presence is so important. They all stand for what's good about sport, not just the success of winning, which they all have had, but the success of what they're doing in their careers and how they've gone about doing so well in their careers, doing the right things, being good people, doing the things that people should do, not because they have to, but because they want to. And I can't think of three better role models to have in our school coming back as alumni than Kevin, Tony, and Brady. They're doing a super job. Kids enjoy them. They're crawling on top of them and laughing at the jokes and having a lot of fun. So it should be a good camp. Some really, really good kids are in here, as well as the bulk of our sophomores, freshmen, and a lot of our seventh graders. Wrestling is a unique sport in that you need your teammates to push you in practice, and the better your teammates are, of course, the better you can be. But you get exactly out of wrestling what you put into it. Sometimes you don't always see the result with a win or a loss, but the competitiveness, the journey that you put in between weigh-ins, and by the time you wrestle and compete, you know if you've wrestled a good match or not, even if you may have came up in the short end. It was neat to see these three boys, Tony, Kevin, and Brady, work their way up through the youth, all the way through our high school program and into the college ranks. And the thing I see in them yet today that I saw when they were all 8, 9, 10 years old was a fire in their eyes, the desire to learn, and the happiness they have and the excitement they have when they're talking about wrestling and they're part of wrestling. I think as a coach, that's the most gratifying part, that they grew up having a lot of fun with the sport.
I'm Brady Cudd. I'm here in River Falls, Wisconsin today, my hometown, doing little kids wrestling camp. I wrestled for the University of Wisconsin lacrosse for 2 years. And I just graduated this past May. I was a two-time All-American for Wisconsin lacrosse. There's so much that I've learned wrestling in high school and college, and since I was a little kid, that I think is really important that I get back and I try to teach some of those same values and the discipline and the things I learned through wrestling back to younger children. I have two younger brothers, and they both wrestle. There's nothing that's more important to me, I don't think, really, than making sure that they learn the same types of values and the same discipline that I learned from wrestling.
Being alive today has special meaning for both of us. There have been times when I almost didn't make it, but the one time I had the most to lose was before I was even born. My mom was young, single, no money. I'm sure it wasn't easy for her to give me a chance, but today, I know she'd be very proud that her decision saved more than one life.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
My name is Terry Steiner. I'm an assistant wrestling coach at the University of Wisconsin. This is our wrestling room you've been watching today. We're on our way to the Big Ten tournament, hopefully qualifying a bunch of our guys for the NCAAs in 3 weeks. So it's an important weekend for us.
Tony Black, 125-pounder from Wisconsin. I'm a native of River Falls. Here we are. We're in the wrestling room right now at Wisconsin, and it's the biggest training week of the year because we have Big Tens coming up in 2 days. And I know we're just going to go and have fun and see if we can't bring home some hardware and make sure we get to wrestle in NCAAs in a week and a half. This is where we go at it every day, and come Saturday, we'll all be cheering for each other, but in here we might be battling with each other. So in 2 days, we're going to go have fun and see what happens.
Hey, my name is Scott Motais, and I work with Athletes in Action here in the athletic department of the University of Wisconsin. Athletes in Action is a Christian sports ministry that seeks to be a resource to athletes, coaches, trainers who are interested in developing the spiritual aspect of their life. My desire here is to do that, to be a resource. I've been here 6 years, and the wrestling team is one of the teams that has been had the most guys involved with Athletes in Action. We have a team Bible study every week. Guys come to a meeting called Life in the Big Ten, which is a large group meeting with all the athletes from all the teams that are interested in being there. It's been a great privilege for me to be a part of the program here in a small way and work with these guys, both the coaches, the trainers, the athletes. It's also been a great privilege to work with some of the wrestlers like Kevin and Tony Black, like the Turner family, to have those guys be involved with the ministry, come to Bible studies, seek to impact youth, their fellow teammates, their fellow students with their faith as well.
Hi, my name is Randy Baar. We're on location, Champaign, Illinois, the University of Illinois. We're kind of doing a show on Big Ten wrestling and the NCAA wrestling. We thought we'd talk with some of the parents of the Wisconsin wrestlers. Hi, what's your name? What's your name?
Marcy Rinke.
So
I'm a grandparent.
You are a grandparent. So do you have a wrestler here?
Brady Rinke.
So what do you think of the Wisconsin wrestling program?
Oh, I think it's great. I think my grandson has come a long way physically, spiritually, emotionally, academically. I think it's a great program.
Well, that's great to hear, because as a parent, I'd like to see our students going off to college to not just go to college, but to have a rounded experience. So that's great to hear. What's your favorite part of the tournament so far?
Oh God, the wrestling. I love wrestling. I love to watch these boys wrestle. That's it. It's exciting. Yep.
All right, well, we see you guys up here yelling and screaming. We thought we'd come and talk a little. Hi, sir. What's your name?
My name's Jeff. Brady's my kid. He wrestles 174 for the Badgers.
You know, I had a nice little talk with him on camera at the practice room Thursday. He almost made me cry. I mean, he had some neat things to say.
He's done that to his parents a few times too, believe me.
In different ways, probably. Huh? What's your name, Al?
I'm Marge Ranky, Brady's mom.
Well, you better be Brady's mom. You guys look kind of close. No. So what's your favorite part of the tournament?
Well, I like watching wrestling. Of course, watching Brady was my favorite part.
I was going to say, you can say it's watching my son upset that Minnesota kid. Wasn't he the one?
That was awesome.
Oh, wow. Oh, we don't get some people who hit me if I say that too loud, huh? That was something else. He turned him and whammo. We got it. Anything else you'd like to say about the program or anything?
Oh, I think Wisconsin's doing real good. I like how the coaches are treating the kids, and they're having a great time. They understand the kids.
You know, I met Barry Davis 5 years ago or so at the Camp of Champs. I was helping there. He's a great guy, and he's kind of go, and I just love the guy. What do you think? You have any comments on the coach?
I think he's really nice, and I think he understands the kids. He tries real hard to understand the kids and understand what they're made of.
You know, and I think that's really important for coaching these days because we want to help them all the way. Well, thanks for talking to us. Well, we got someone else, and it looks like he's from River Falls to me.
How you doing, Randy?
Dave Black.
Yep.
All right, now this is going to go all over, not just River Falls. So you guys introduce yourself. Where's everybody?
They're probably still at the hotel having continental breakfast. They'll be here shortly, though.
Maybe we'll get them yet, but now for those who don't know, we got two boys wrestling here, Kevin and Tony.
We had two boys wrestling. Yeah, Tony didn't fare quite as well as we all hoped, but Kevin is wrestling yet this morning.
Well, you made my heart stop that first match. Unbelievable. Number one in the country, and I guess I won't go there, but it was still fun to see. So Kevin looks like he's picking up and looking good.
Yeah, he did well yesterday afternoon once he got going. We're pleased with him.
So today he's going for third and fourth, or?
He has to wrestle now to get in the third place bracket. If he doesn't win this one, then he'll go in the fifth place bracket. If he wins, he's going for third.
Yeah.
2 matches left.
Right. Okay. Well, anything? This is the boys' third or fourth year. You got any ideas on the program at Wisconsin or the coach? Or what do you think is going there?
Great people. Never gets easy though, Randy. I mean, it's 3 years and it's the same thing. You had anguish over it, but no, the program is great. I'll stick up for it forever.
I was saying yesterday, I've been out of this for a while. My gut just hurt. I can't believe it, and they're your kids and stuff, and I'm like, oh. But you're having a good time. We look up here, we see all of you yelling and everything. We thought we'd get a few crowd shots. Maybe we'll still get Mary and the others when they come. I know your family is big on this. Your family all comes alive.
Yeah, we travel together. We have a good time. We've got 2 girls with us. And next 2 weeks, we're going to Albany all together, so it's been a lot of fun.
I noticed there's a lot of Wisconsin people. You guys stick together like a family, it seems.
We try.
Yeah, okay. Of course, the big reason I'm here is the Blacks. And I don't know, I might start crying before I can do this because I've gotten really close to this young man, even though I don't see him a lot based on some of the programs we've had and things, but I'm so proud of him. And to see you come back like you did is really something. And it reminded me of someone that would come back with give it all you got no matter what, because you lose the first round, you could go into some kind of a tailspin. You look like you went the opposite to me, Kevin. Maybe you want to talk about it a little bit.
Well, I came here to win the tournament, no doubt, and that's what the point of coming to a tournament like this is. Especially as I was seeded second, I had a pretty good chance, and I lost the first match, and I kind of had my head kind of hanging down and kind of felt sorry for myself and all that kind of stuff. And I talked to Barry, our coach, and he said, you just got to put it behind you. That match is done. Now you just got to make it through. And really, I don't know if that just kind of relaxed me or what. I wasn't all hung up on, trying to take first or whatever. All I knew is I just had to make it through because my big goals are for the next tournament, nationals. Big Tens doesn't really mean that much compared to what nationals is. And so he said, he just made a pretty simple analogy, and it really helped me out. He just said, these guys are trying to take something from you, and don't let them take it. So I guess I just kind of refocused and picked it up a little bit and was able to take it to the next level.
Yeah, we all know that if you have an off time or something, you lose a point. And in this level of competition, I thought you wrestled better. I did in the first match, but it just didn't happen. But to see you turn that and come back like you did, it's almost like it fired you up, you know. Well, I was thinking, I wonder if it'll knock him down. And right inside of me, I think that's the kid's faith, you know. We do the best we can whenever we can, whatever we can. And this probably isn't the place for it, but I couldn't help but think that if you have that, to have the rock, and you have that sovereignty issue in your head, like God is in control, no matter what, we can take whatever happens and try to make the best of it. That sure looked to me like what you did. You just went out, did the job the rest of the way, and just that last match was really something. Well, is there anything you want to share to people in River Falls, or
just kind of on that? I'm, you know, I know, you know, this gift that I have and whatever, you know, kind of churchy words that, you know, my wrestling is kind of something that God has blessed me with, and I've tried to use that as, you know, wrestling to the best of my ability, doing the best that I can and all that kind of stuff as, you know, worship to God. Because He gave me this gift, I'm not going to waste it. And that's kind of where I had to do some thinking last night before I went to bed, is like, you know, I did lose, and I was kind of feeling sorry for myself, and it could have been easy for me to just kind of, you know, throw in the towel and think, you know, I could just end my season right now if I don't try in this next match or whatever. But then I thought, you know what? That's not what God wants of me. He wants me to win. I want to win. He wants me to win too. And I would be wasting what He's given me if I didn't wrestle to the best of my ability. So I just kind of thought, you know, I'm cheating Him if I'm not wrestling to the best of my ability. And then I even kind of started thinking, you know, that's even sinning if I'm not using my potential or whatever He's given me to glorify Him. So I guess that's
an interesting analogy, because you'd be missing the mark, you know, from what you have. You know, and I'll just throw this out because you don't know it, because I haven't talked to you yet, but I almost lost it. And I'm getting really sentimental in my old age at the practice room, because you had practiced earlier, so I went in and took some shots, and the 74-pounder just started talking, you know, and how much you meant to him and how you have helped him with his faith and things. And I thought, oh man, this is what life's all about. So, is there anything else to River Falls or any of the state that you want to say?
No, I can't ever think of anything.
Okay, well, congratulations. Thanks. It's a lot of fun watching. Thank you.
Thanks.
When disaster strikes, who will be there to help? Who will deliver food, clothing, medical supplies? Who will rescue the stranded in communities just like yours? You will, as a member of the Air National Guard. Feel the pride, get the experience. Join the Air National Guard and fuel your future.
They said you wouldn't be bothered by a voice calling for you in the night. There would be no trail of cereal through the house, no spills or stray toys. The clock ticks, all is calm. And you realize there is still a voice. Abortion changes everything.
Welcome back. We have Tony Blacker. We're at the University of Illinois in the Big Ten. So I was going to say, how good a time are you having, but how are you?
Very disappointed. I mean,
yeah.
I'd be silly to say anything else. I mean, it's 5 months this year, the year before that, my whole high school career and everything, and still I have really nothing to show for it. So for me, that's really a big disappointment. And I mean, some people might think that that there's more to it than that, but in college wrestling there might not be. Sometimes it is about winning and losing, and right now, to me, it is. So,
you know, the feelings that are supposed to be gone when you're old like me are starting to well up, and I don't even want to talk about it. I took a dive in sectionals, and we remember these things, but yet there's other things that maybe we have to move on. But sometimes it really hurts. But you know what? I know you're probably sick of hearing it, but I almost died when you're out there putting it to Vega. It was so close. It was a thrill for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It was so close, and that's why, I mean, the tournament isn't a loss. The season's over, but there's still bits from the season that I have to take away from. And, you know, remember that, like, before my match I wrestled, and, you know, Vega's ranked second in the country, and there's probably everyone in this arena except for about 3 people, you know, just figured I was going to lose. And I was in the hotel room with Kevin, and he said, hey, he goes, you can beat Vega. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. I want you in my corner to coach me, though, because usually he can't coach me. And he was in my corner, and, you know, I set myself up for it, but I just fell a little short, and, you know.
Well, I hate to say it, but you got another year. Does something like that just say, I got another year, or how you feel about next year already?
Oh, it's I can't wait till March, first weekend of March next year in wrestling, Wisconsin at the Big Ten tournament. And I don't know. I mean, I'll probably have a couple talks, you know, with Terry and Troy Steiner and Barry Davis, and, you know, see what, you know, they think I should be doing. And I don't know. I guess right now my season's over, so my goal is to help Kevin win a national title and do anything that he needs me to do in order for him to accomplish that. Well, you know, I was sitting in the stands and I looked over, and there's Tony, intense into Kevin's match. Instead of, oh, I just lost. I know you felt bad, but you were right back. It tells me something about character, and you don't have to get real heavy here, but I think character and faith and things is this helping you any, whether through the good or the bad? Well, like how I said a couple minutes ago, right now it's really hard to see anything else but 0-2 at the Big Ten tournament and season over. But I mean, there's at the same time when I say there's, you know, it comes down to winning and losing, you know, probably in a couple weeks or whatever, then I'll be able to sit back and look at it from a different point of view and, you know, realize that, you know, I have one more year of wrestling, but after that one more year, there's still the rest of my life that I have to live.
That's for sure. Well, thanks so much for coming to talk to us. And, you know, I want to tell you, I enjoyed the practice room because that's where it's really at, you know, and it wasn't all fancy, but, I mean, it's a nice practice room, and I like seeing you guys out there and sweating and everything. That was really fun. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Randy Baar. We're at the Big Ten NCAA Wrestling Tournament, Champaign, Illinois, the University of Illinois. Got a lot of kids for Wisconsin, and a lot of them are wrestling from our area. And we have Adam Turner with us. Hi, Adam.
Hello.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Gotcha. Boy, it looks like a long tournament here this weekend. How do you feel about the tournament?
We could have fared a little better, but it's a learning experience, and I think I learned a lot. I'll be ready for next year.
All right. What year are you?
Third year. So 2 left.
All right. So you're 2 left. Did you redshirt 1 year?
Redshirt 1 year. Last year I was off and on starting, and then this year I was 57.
All right. So what was your favorite memory so far of this tournament?
This tournament, my one win. Learned a lot from it. Go hard the whole time. It was a good experience.
You know, do a little comparison from high school for me. It looks like everybody's good here or something.
Yeah, high school, I didn't have a whole lot of competition. And here everyone's state champion. It's just a lot tougher. Everyone's really intense, and they don't give up.
Well, I know you're from Spring Valley, which is, 20 miles from River Falls. And I got to know your dad a little bit, and I think I was at a father-son banquet once or something, and I got to know your dad, and I know he coaches, and you got some brothers. Are they all coming here? And didn't you have one win state or something the other day?
Yeah, Tyler's a senior in high school, and he just won state. And Ryan's my older brother. He's a year ahead of me. He's here. And Tony's he's a freshman this year, redshirt freshman. So we're all coming here, and we're all going to live together next year, which will be really exciting. Fun.
Well, it sounds like you like Wisconsin. For us fans, it's kind of neat to have the the wrestlers from our state, and everything wrestling, and we got quite a few. So I'd like to talk just a second about Athletes in Action. I've been hearing from some of the parents from different Ohio State, different places, that they really like this. Do they offer that, and do you enjoy that at Wisconsin?
Yeah, Athletes in Action meets every other Wednesday for us, and it's just a place where all the athletes get together and they talk about their faith and how it's helped in their athletics, and it's a good place to meet people, hang out, and have fun.
Win or lose, with him in your corner, you're in good shape. So I'm glad to see they have that in the schools for the young people. It's really a good thing. Thanks for coming down.
You know, I used to be pro-choice, but with new medical advances, unborn babies are now being saved before birth with blood transfusions, even heart surgery. I'm confused. Why are some little ones, while still in the womb, treated with miracles, and other tiny babies of very same ages and perfectly healthy, aborted? Pro-choice just doesn't make sense to me anymore.
Defend America's skies from hostile intruders. Protect America's interests around the globe. The mission of the Air National Guard fighter remains the same. What's changing is the face of the person who flies it. The Air National Guard.
Mom has given us all so much, and I'm really glad she gave us a chance to live. See, I just saw government numbers that say over half of the 3,000 abortions a day in this country are repeats. That means 2, 3, or even 4 abortions for the same woman. Imagine whole families, just like ours, that would have been, but aren't. It's really got me thinking.
Brady. I just got to tell you, from a point of view of his parents and us out there, we just about died when you turned that kid and stuck him from Minnesota. It was a happy moment for us out there. So that might have been a high point, you think, or?
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. That's probably my high point of the tournament. But just got to keep building from that, and hopefully that momentum a little bit will.
New Center 11 was there, and I was saying I was going to go find that Tim McNiff guy. You put that on now. So, you having fun?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's every day I get up. It's a fun day. Go to the practice room, have a little fun. If it stops being fun, then it's not fun anymore. Obviously.
Right. From what I understand, Barry Davis, the coach, really loves you guys, and there's a good relationship there.
Yeah, Barry's a great guy. He'd do anything for anybody on the team. He's give you the shirt off his back if you needed a shirt or whatever. But yeah, he sometimes doesn't seem like he cares about people on the outside, but man, as wrestlers, he'd do anything for.
So where's your hometown?
I'm from Phillips, Wisconsin. It's way up north. Way up north, yeah.
I talked to your mom a little bit. I think they're in the same hotel we were. So.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for coming by.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Hi, we got the head coach for Wisconsin. We just talked to some of his wrestlers, and we thought we'd just get a few comments from him. Barry Davis. How you doing, Barry?
Could be better.
It could be better.
A lot better,
I hear you. I know you're probably a little disappointed, but maybe you can tell us a little bit about some of the good and bad here today.
Well, good thing is we got 4 guys going through. Kevin, Grant here, Brady Rankin, Rob Danisco, and those guys, they've been pretty consistent all year long, and they kind of made their breaks. But we had 5 guys this last round and for 7th place, and only 1 guy ended up winning. And when you got a chance to make that type of break for yourself, you got to step on it. You got to get on it. You got to have that rush of adrenaline and say, hey, I have an opportunity here to go to the NCAA championships. So you better step up to it, and then some guys just didn't take advantage of it. That's all.
Yeah, from a standpoint of parents and fans out there, we had some neat things to see. To see that 74-pounder come back and pin Minnesota was really a lot of fun. What happened there?
Well, just Brady kept the pressure on the whole time. The guy started wearing down. The guy shot in. grabs the far elbow, steps over and pins him. Again, he made his break for him. He's an opportunity for him, and he capitalized on it. He's behind, but that type of thing is what you need in an athlete, in an individual. That type of pressure, type of intensity. It's going to force guys to quit. The guy makes one mistake, you put him away. And we've been telling guys that throughout the year, and he did it. So now he's on Albany, New York, and the state championship. So it's good to see that happen. And the other guys got to look at that and see that and realize that, because they have the same opportunity, but you got to come through.
And again, for me personally, and a lot of us, to see Tony come out and Tony Black and come out and wrestle that kind of a match, which was so close to winning against Vega, and then it was disappointing. You have any comments on that?
Well, Tony put a lot of time and effort in. He's missed he's had 2 opportunities. He just barely missed them both. And I feel for him because he's put a lot of works hard, and but it just wasn't quite close enough.
He's got a lot of character. He came and talked, which I don't know. I think I would, and then he can't wait for next year. He's going to go after it.
Well, you have to. Got another year left. Adam Turner has a couple years left too at the same time. So things like that, you got to come back. There's no other thing. What else can you do?
Right.
You can't sit down and put your head down and pout about it. It gets you nowhere.
That's right.
It gets guys step up, take the bull by the horns, and dust yourself off and go again. And I'm sure they'll both do that.
And Kevin, for me, I thought he wrestled a better match, but he didn't win. But he really turned that and came hard. He just took it into his soul or something and came out hard.
Well, he did. Now he got beat. He showed some character and some pride. Come back for himself as well as for the team, and come back and get third. As definitely going to help his seed and ranking to get to the NCAA. So he put himself in a good position now to be seated in the top 4 or 5 and a chance to move forward. So again, them are things you got to do, and he did that.
Well, what do you see for the future of Wisconsin wrestling, Barry?
I see some great things. We had a great recruiting class last year. I think we've got to continue to just to move forward and strive to be successul. And it's got to come in the off season now. If you're going to do anything, it's got to be off. And these guys understand that. Off season, you've got to put time and effort in. And you wake up in the morning, you got to think about wrestling. You got to think about winning. And some of these kids now, I'm not sure they think about it all the time like that.
Well, we're gonna try to put something together and get a lot of distribution. What would you tell to some of the parents and the kids that they want to go to college and wrestle? Why should they come to Wisconsin?
I think we got a great coaching staff. I think our coach got great character. I think they've been successful on the mat and off the mat as well too. I think we can get their kids where they want to be. But the thing is, I know some kids this year, you got to have, and some high school parents got to understand too. You got to have academics too. You just can't wrestle because otherwise you can't get into school. I try to explain it to some parents and think we just get anybody in the school. You can't do that. You don't have the academics. We can't get you in. Our hands are tied. So we think we just get anybody in. It doesn't work that way. So if you're not doing well academically, then that's something you got to step up to the plate to.
Well, I'd like to tell you and our viewers, Barry Davis is a good reason to send your son to Wisconsin because of what your wrestlers told me at the practice room. And from what I've seen personally and everything, you care about him, and you have a faith. And I would want my son to come if he was going to wrestle for you. So I just wanted to throw that in.
I can get honorary though too, but it's part of the faith though too. We all make mistakes, and it hurts those guys lose. And I want them to win. I want to, I hurt just like they do. And it's sometimes that happens. You can get a little ornery, and I can do that sometimes.
You remind me of me. You try to sit back, and then all of a sudden you're pacing around, and I got a smile inside. Anything else you want to say before we close this off here?
I would say thanks you for coming down and taking some time and effort to film Wisconsin wrestling, and and Kevin and Tony and Adam and all those guys like that. So it's nice to see people like you that care about the sport and but care about their spiritual life as well too. So I think you guys are doing a great job too, and I appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Randy.
And we'll see you next year, if not before.
Well, I might be up that way. If I get up that way, I'll stop by.
All right, you do that.
All right,
God
thanks,
bless. Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Randy Baar, and we got another coach to come to see us, so we're real happy about that. And he was in River Falls 7 or 8 years ago, Russ Hellickson, and he's got a long history in wrestling, and he's the head coach for Ohio State. Hi, Russ.
Good to see you. Thanks.
Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by and talking to us. So let's go right to the tournament. Everybody's so excited. How do you feel about it? How are you guys doing?
Well, we're about right where I guess everybody else thought we would be. I was hoping we'd have a better tournament kind of surprise, get a number of people placing higher. We've been ranked 4th, 5th in the nation here for the past couple of weeks, and the Big Ten teams, Iowa, Minnesota, and Michigan have been ahead of us, and they're still ahead of us. But it's a real close battle right now for 2nd and 3rd and 4th for us in this tournament. But we probably should end up in the 4th position. If we place higher than that, we're beating somebody that we shouldn't. So I got to be happy. We have 4 in the finals, which we haven't had for a long, long time. We didn't even have a finalist last year, and it's been a while since we had a champ. So I'm hoping we're going to crown somebody in this.
All right, well, we got to get you back then. From our standpoint, we were disappointed to see Kevin's match with you. You had a 20 or 33 pounder that beat him in the first round, and he was in the finals. How did you see that match?
Well, we knew that Kevin was very tough. We were, that draw wasn't what we really wanted to be in. But Ratliff wrestled a very, very tough match. Wrestled a very strategic match, and that first upset I think kind of excited him, and then he went right in, won the semifinals, and went into the finals. So he had a great tournament. He actually is getting closer every time he wrestles Lewis, and Lewis hasn't been beat this year. And I think Ratliff can beat him if he stays tough. But Kevin was a tough first round draw.
Yeah, and I think it speaks for character as far as Kevin goes. It looked like he turned that instead of being so upset about it. He just kind of wrestled very well right back to 3rd.
And he beat up on a lot of good wrestlers. He beat the number 1 seed who had lost earlier, came back, and he had him for 3rd and 4th and beat him pretty bad. Might have even pinned him, didn't he?
Yeah, he pinned that
yeah.
first one, yeah. Well, maybe you can tell us a little bit about Ohio State and where you see them going next year in the future.
Well, I think we have a very strong program. 3 of the finalists for me are sophomores. I have a sophomore class of 6 people that are very, very strong. I think all 6 of them will be on my varsity next year. So we think we're going to be a force in wrestling here for the next couple of years, and then hopefully we can recruit and make a difference after that down the line with having some real good freshmen coming in. I have 2 red shirts that are very tough right now. We're signing 3 really good kids, multiple state champions this year. So I don't see any reason for us to waver. I think we'll stay very tough.
Wonderful. Well, I went to the practice room before I came here, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to see a practice, and I really enjoyed that. And the athletes in action person was there, Scott, I think. And a lot of the kids, they really appreciate that, and it seems to help them to have a solid rock there, so to speak, with their faith. Do they have that in Ohio State?
Yeah, we have athletes in action all the time. I have, probably about 40% of my team is very strong. They have a Bible study night, and then they have a number of teams that get together about once a month, so they kind of congregate as groups. Your faith is a very important part of the total person. We have been very strong, and we want a wrestler to understand it isn't just about wrestling. You're in school to get an education, but it's all about the things that you hold dear. Is it family, country, God? But the thing that a person needs to recognize, the most important thing is that you challenge yourself to the fullest to attain whatever you're capable of. What kind of talents do you have? What kind of skills? And you need to recognize that the emotional strength, many times even that mental strength that can come because you have a very strong faith. What are you competing for? Who are you doing it for? Some people get lost. They think they're doing it for themselves. And when you do it for yourself, you really get into trouble. There's more important things to discipline yourself for. There's more important things to represent. I had very good relationship, even though I wrestled Ben Peterson many, many times. Ben and John were very good friends of mine, and, they're ministers now, and it was very important for me to watch them. They wrestled for the glory of God. They were very, very successful. They were very humble when they won, but they were also very quick to point out that there's a greater power. There's a reason that we're all doing this, and if we all recognize that and hold it in the right light, we tend to accomplish things in a manner that are very positive for the people around us. We have professional wrestling in the world today, and to me, I think it's a dangerous entertainment right now. It's very confrontational. It's very violent. There's so many things about it that are just the opposite of what we want to have. And I think if you go out there, I always tell my guys, when I go out on a wrestling mat, I feel like I can wrestle my brother and give him the greatest competition. We want to win. We want to be as physical as it can possibly be. But you got to recognize that, it isn't about me, and it isn't about me winning, but it's about me being as good as I can be. And if we can both have that attitude, we do a much better job. When we're all done, we have a much better experience.
And I see with the truth, understanding the truth, which to me is the Lord Christ, win or lose, they can handle it both better.
Well, and we have a dilemma sometimes in sport. You know, if we look at professional athletes, they don't know how to lose very well. You know, I say the two most important things when I tell my young men, you need to expect to win and you need to accept defeat. And sometimes if you're only about winning or losing, you're not very good at that. If you recognize that a loss sometimes is the most educational thing you have if you do it the right way. You know, and there's a right way to look at it. Have respect for the other person. Understand that he's the same as you and me. Now, did he train a little harder? What do I need to do to be better at it? You know, is he's got something working for him that I don't have? Figure out what it is. You know, and sometimes, you know, faith can be one of the most important equalizers we have in competition of any kind.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned John. John's become a very good friend of mine. It'd be comical. We got to meet. If we had time sometime, I'll tell you the story. But he's done several shows for us. We have this Christian talk show, American Missionary Fellowship Hour. But I know he's been going to Minnesota, I think, with Athletes in Action.
There, yes.
And I'm here to tell you, I am so proud of you guys. I mean, believe it or not, I wrestle, but because I think that is so important. And so you're not only bringing out these good athletes, you're giving them something they can have that's really important. And I thought, well, maybe it's just localized. It seems to be out there.
Yeah, well, the balance is very important. There's a lot of good spokesmen for it, and you know, you have enough of the great athletes that have a very strong faith foundation. And you know, they recognize why they're winning, and they recognize the reason that they're winning, and I think that makes a difference with a lot of people around them. You know, we have some athletes on our team that you know, they tend to get lost in the college life. And, you know, as we tell them, you know, you go to the library, you go to church, you aren't going to have the negative experiences you get that when you run around, go to the bars and get into the wrong crowd. And it's the most positive influence a lot of these kids can have, and it's very important for them to recognize it. And, you know, sometimes if you just get it a try, you end up not only making a difference in the direction they go in their life, but the success they have in all other areas of their life. You know, it can make a difference in school, makes a difference in your family life, your relationship with other people, and obviously, you know, your physical performance. You know, my guys, and they're very quick, you know, about 10 years ago we got into a discussion, you know, if I pray for my competition, does that mean that God will make me win over the other guy? And we all recognize that's not it. You know, we pray a lot with our team that no one will get injured, that everyone will perform to the best of their ability and where the best person win. And I think that's fairly realistic, and I think it has a very meaningful impact on the guys that recognize it.
And like I said, I guess I didn't understand, but I'm seeing a lot of you coaches and everything with this philosophy. Makes me feel good, because I know the young men going are getting more than just wrestling.
I've had a number of guys, you know, that they go on the Athletes in Action tours and different things like that. Very positive experience for them, you know, not only for the wrestling, but for the spiritual growth that they have as individuals. And, you know, actually the guys that I think have a very strong spiritual background tend to be guys that stay closer to you over the years. You know, when they leave your program, they recognize what wrestling did for them, what the discipline did for them. But they tend to have a kind of a family philosophy that brings them back. You know, they make contributions back to you, and they come back and talk to you, and they call you up, they email you, you know, and they just have a better relationship over time.
John, I forget how this happened, but he did a show. I think we promoted the Athletes in Action Unfading Glory.
Unfading Glory, yes.
And
yes.
I surely enjoyed that, I'll tell you. I enjoyed that one guy that's so tough.
Yeah, we still have some of
saying,
the tapes. We make them available. For
Jesus is the
like
toughest guy there ever was. I got a big kick out of that.
Keep it in perspective. Very good.
Well, just before we leave, some folks might not know or like to know. Why don't you go back, tell us a little bit about what you did in the Olympics and things, and
well, you know,
how that
my
works.
roots are in Wisconsin. I grew up in Cottage Grove, just outside of Stoughton, Wisconsin. I was a state champion there at Stoughton High School for Vern Pieper, who retired a number of years back. Very successful coach. Didn't have great competition himself, but he was a tremendous motivator. I wrestled at the University of Wisconsin. I was on the Olympic team in 1976, got a silver medal for the United States at 220 pounds, and I was captain of the team in 1980 that boycotted. And of late, I've been doing all the Olympics, you know, in 84, 88, 92, 96, and 2000. I did the commentary for the wrestling, you know, both the Greco-Roman and the freestyle, and I'm hoping to do Athens in 2004. So I've had a lot of involvement in wrestling. It's all been very, very positive. And, you know, my going out for wrestling when I was a young boy, well, actually I started in high school as a freshman year, allowed me to travel around the world. I've been to 27 countries of the world because of wrestling, and it's been very productive for me.
Thanks to the Lord. You know, you just caught me here. The '76 Olympics, was that the Olympics where the wrestlers were killed?
No, that was 72.
Oh, okay.
Montreal was 72.
Okay.
I was an alternate on that team and didn't go to Germany, to Munich. No, and the next year was in Montreal in '76.
Okay, John got the silver there, didn't he? In '72.
Ben got the gold in '72 and the silver in '76, and John got a silver in '72 and a gold in '76. So they were both on. And Ben was actually on another Olympic team with me in 1980. So we're very good friends. Yeah.
Well, you know, John's really so humble, and he's kind of quiet.
They both are.
Right. I just don't know Ben as well.
Very good. You know, they run those camps in Wisconsin. They have the father-son things, and they have the camp, you know, where you actually have the Bible study, and it's a very positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
I run into people all over the country that have been to their camp. You know, it's been going for years and years and years, but I think they recognize the impact they have, and it's been very, very positive for people.
Camp of Champs.
Camp of Champs. Very good.
Yeah, and I talked to John a little bit in an interview, and it was almost like, to me, I should talk to John about it, but like trying to talk to somebody about the war they don't want to talk about. You know, I asked him a little bit about '72, and he just kind of didn't say much, and I bet you that was a hard thing.
It'd be a hard thing to talk about, you know, particularly if you have compassion for other people. And, you know, of course, the problems in the world during that era haven't gone away. We still have, you know, relationships because of differences in faith, relationships because of difference in cultures and philosophies are part of what we have to eliminate so we can make the world a much more peaceful place.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, that there was a raid and they killed some Israeli wrestlers there, right?
Well,
in '72.
Israeli wrestlers, they kidnapped some people, and I think 8 or 9 people ended up dying in a helicopter because they blew it up as they tried to overtake them, and they blew up the helicopter, and a number of people died. It was a very sad time.
Yeah, I remember I was just out of high school, and I thought, my goodness, you know, we can't even go. It's a bad time. But hey, thanks for talking to us. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Russ. That's great.
with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. America, the beautiful America. Can you hear the many voices? Do you hear their anguish cries? Did today you even notice how many did they say had died? A baby's gone and a mother barren. In a once great land, a child is gone. Can we say we're all forgiven when all we do is sing our songs? Tiny hands feel pain and trembling. Lips cry out what they cannot say. Surely God, our Heavenly Father, never dreamed there'd come this day. A baby's gone and a mother barren. In a once great land, a child is gone. Can we say we're all forgiven when all we do is sing our songs? If all we do is go along, oh my God, where'd we go wrong? Can you hear the many voices? Do you hear their anguish cries? Did today you even notice how many did they say had died? How many did they say had died? How many did they say had died? Have you ever wondered, so do I, how many more will have to die?
If I had a voice, I'd ask for my life. I would tell you how much I want to live. I tell my mom that everything will be all right.